Hey everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here with Painted Studio. Welcome back. I'm just going to go over here to my camera, adjust everything so that I can see you all and your questions and your comments because I can't do that this way. I have to wait until everything pops up. And here I am. So now I can do that. And whoever pops in, I can see you. All right, so we're back. It's a little later than I've been coming on the last week because I've been trying to get things dry. So yesterday, you might remember this tray that we worked on that I was so thrilled about and thought was going to go so well. I had applied set coat day before yesterday. It dried for over 12 hours. I came back. And I was taping off the inside so I could paint the center here. I pulled the tape off and I pulled all the set coat off. And then I turned it over and I could just peel the paint off of the whole thing like a banana peel. I literally, because it's sitting, my little wastebasket sitting here, I literally stripped the whole thing with nothing more than blue paint, blue painter's tape. Literally just came off in strips. If there was an edge, I could peel it off. Now this tray is made in China. That means that sometimes you might not know what it was top coated with. So yesterday I took a time out. I took some of our Whitson's Superior Adhesion Primer and painted the whole thing over with that. I'm very, very happy with the way it dried. Of course, I had tinted it gray because I wanted to neutralize that red that was under here. I was going, please, God, please let this work. You might have noticed I posted a short video earlier today that said, yay, it worked. So I was very, very thrilled, and I've spent the day reapplying blue, reapplying white, and now we're going to turn it over. Now, I do have actually a plan for the center tray, but if you see this in the light, you can see that my set coat is not completely dry, and I am not going to mess with that until it's dry. Lesson learned for stupid things I do, that's one of them. What on earth is under here? Nothing. It just looks like I got something funny on there. All right, so I put a single coat of white on the legs, only one, and then we're going to do that again right now. But I'm also going to finish, I coated the outside here with deep blue set coat. I'm going to do the edges here with deep blue set coat, and then eventually my goal is to come in here and do the bottom of this tray with deep blue set coat, but I think I want to see if I can get the legs painted first because that's always the stickiest and messiest, and this is not going to be like one of the prettiest paint jobs to watch. So I'm going to change our zoom a little bit so you can see a little more of what I'm doing. Not that much. You don't need to be that zoomed in. Whoops, that's the wrong place. This Mevo camera stuff is just, I'm still learning it, and then my hands move and things go everywhere. So, of course, with the wider view of the table, too, you get to see all the messes I make everywhere. And over here to my right, I have been painting all kinds of stuff all day. So I have pots of brushes in water and stuff like that because I've got a lot of other client work going on, both big and small. As a matter of fact, I just had somebody drop off a George Washington style sewing table. Not an actual one. I don't believe it's antique, and if it is, it's been beat to hell. So we're going to have some fun with it. But right now, all I'd really like to do, I don't like this brush with this. I want a better brush. Let me see what I got over here. Some days I'm just not happy with any brush that I pick, so let's pull this one. But today we're just going to work on trying to catch up to where this was supposed to be yesterday. So when I do this, I like to paint the insides of the legs first. And then the very outer part of the legs is the last part, because if I have to lean this back, I don't want it to catch on here and dent. And you can see I've already slapped it with some white paint, but again, this is the bottom, so not much is going to show. I also haven't done this part right here with the primer, and I'm probably not going to, because this tray is for me, and I'm so sick of the mess that it made with me yesterday, and all that drama of the paint literally peeling off like the peel. I keep saying it like the peel of a banana, but that's really how easily it peeled off. And I am telling you right now, I have never, ever, never had that happen with set coat. So God only knows what they sealed this thing up with. So I'm going to paint that on the inside. And then I'm going to come back and paint this leg here. And you can tell this was gray under here, so I probably need a couple of coats, just like I did on the rest of it, to get a nice even coating of white. Although it may not matter, because I haven't decided what I'm going to actually do with these legs. Now, before somebody asks me how I painted this without ruining my sleeves, this is how. This big sleeve, tucked it up under my apron. And I did the same with this side. It's not a very attractive look, but it sure works well. Hey, Kathy Palmer, nice to see you here. All right, so then I'm going to come in and do this side, which I may actually be watching a little bit on the camera to do to see what I miss, so I don't have to keep picking this up and turning it around. My goal, of course, is to make sure that these bolts stay loose enough that the legs keep moving on the hinges. And so far, so good. So the next thing I'm going to do is come back in with a little paint. I'm going to stand up and look over this, because I don't like painting blind. It's how I make my biggest messes. It's how I end up leaving really big globs on stuff. Now, I could conceivably take care of each one of these by painting the legs, taping off here, doing each legs. I'm not that crazy. Not doing it that way today. I could do it that way. I'm just not going to. I'm not in that kind of mood. I've already been frustrated enough with this thing. And again, I said, it's for me. So if I screw it up, it's me living with it. It's for my backyard this summer. We have a lot of outside stuff that we do in the yard. We have this ridiculously large yard for the size of our house. So we try to take advantage of it. And sometimes, if you all have, any of you follow me on my personal page, you know that we put a big old blow-up pool in this yard. We're so glamorous. Put a big old blow-up pool in the yard, and then I need a little table sitting next to me next to the blow-up pool so that I can have, you know, my beverage of choice and some music and that sort of thing. So this will be part of that outdoor feeling this year. And so if I trash it in the backyard, I'm not going to care. All right, let's get the cross piece over here. And if you notice, I'm supporting this on the unpainted back part of this so I can get this brush smoothly, get the underside, and then come back and get this part here. Now, put my where I'm going to put my finger to support it is right at the seam at the corner, because that will be the place that would wear naturally anyway. So if I have to touch it up, it would feel like a normal spot to choose. And if any of you all paint with regular white acrylic paints like Set Coat and stuff, you know whites can be Very challenging to get covered. It can take a little while. For some reason, white, which should be, in my mind, truly the most opaque paint, tends to actually have a lot of sheerness to it. It's very frustrating. Let's get the inside here. Get this part here. And I tilt it back a little bit just to get under that. Oh, the joys. Now let me come back in here. And if you watched my first live, you'll understand why I never took these legs off to do them separately. The damn hinges here have been stripped. The bolts that are holding it together have been stripped. Clearly somebody else tried to take this apart at some point, did a really bad job. So I'm just working with what I have. And if you remember at all, I pulled this out of my basement. I had it there forever. I don't know how I got it. I don't know where I got it from. I've just had it for what seems like an eon. So in the cleaning in my basement, I pulled this out. And now we're going to hopefully make this into something a lot better than what it was. Something I can tolerate. Something that I'll get at least a little use out of, and we will get a great painting lesson out of too. And I think we've already done that with the issue of the paint peeling off and using Whitson's primer. For those of you who are interested in Whitson's primer, it's a super high bonding waterborne alkyd, and it is coming to the US in the next 30 days. We will be their US distributor, and now we're just waiting for it to be shipped, as they are making it for us right now as we speak. All right, let me do that. I'm going to leave that alone for a little bit, let that dry, so that then I can come back and do this part and still have a place to brace with my fingers. Because right now everything's really wet on certain parts and I'm not going to screw it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a different brush. We're going to take a little white. We're going to come around these edges because that didn't get, ooh, that one sunk way the hell into the bucket. Oh, this is how my day has gone. If anybody wants to know how my day has gone, it's been me dropping things in weird places all day. I have been just as clumsy as can be. So I'm coming along here. I'm cleaning up this edge. Doing the same back in here. And I am using Set Coat Matte Metallic Snow, which personally I actually find has just a little more opacity than regular white. Let's see who's here. Hey Maria and Janice and Kathy Palmer, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you. I love them too when they go right. So, but I have no fear of making a mistake on camera, because what happens to me after, 30 plus years of being in the decorative painting industry, and I have painted some weird stuff in my life. I have been on walls, floors, ceilings, building exteriors. There isn't much I haven't painted, except a boat. I've never been asked to paint a boat. I'm pretty much okay with that. Not that I don't love boats, I just don't think that, unless it was in dry dock, being inside and painting a boat interior is something I want to do. I have been asked to do it. I was asked to do it while they were sailing, and I said, that's not a good idea. Level lines don't say level when the whole wall and floor is going like this. So, yeah, I've painted some very peculiar things in my life, and now I'm going back into the smaller things like furniture and small craft items, because I don't have to worry about them being rolling on water, at least. And I will tell you, I really have had some strange jobs in my life. But I think that's true of anybody in the decorative painting industry. Some of my favorite jobs. I will tell you that every politician in Chicago who I've ever worked for has ended up going to prison. Now, I don't know if that is an indictment on Chicago politics or the fact that you shouldn't hire me if you're a politician in Chicago. I've had some very, very entertaining moments with that. I always got paid, but there were a couple moments where I'd be working for somebody and we'd have another job planned, and I'd call the secretary to schedule, and she's like, they're not available for right now. We'll have to get back to you. And then, 3 weeks later, I'll see that they're indicted on something and maybe going to prison soon. There have been those moments. Okay, I am going to do this side carefully. Let's see if we can get this going. We also managed to get some large metal chairs for our backyard. And that's going to be another project that you watch us do, because I think that'll be a great, I want to foil them and put them outside. And I want to work with them. Not all foils hold up well outside. The blues especially tend to fade, even though those are the ones that I love the most outside. So I think we're going to sort of work in a different palette for the ones that are going to be outside. But I'm thinking we're going to have a lot of fun with those. They're 3 chairs, really good sized. I'm probably going to have to find a way to rework the seats, because the seats are a little sprung. Somehow we ended up with cushions for 4 chairs, but they only disposed of 3, so I'm not sure what that means. I don't know where the other chair went, if they maybe got new cushions for it and just said heck with all the others. I'm okay with it, because that's part of what we do as furniture artists, is we don't just paint, we have to take care of the repairs too. I personally don't call myself a furniture flipper, because like housing flippers, and this is a personal opinion. If you're a flipper, don't come after me. But I find furniture flippers usually are looking to turn something fast to make money off it, whereas somebody who's like I am, who's a furniture artist, we are working to get a specific look on something. We'll take a little bit different time. We'll do different repairs. Generally do a great deal more prep work, which is part of how I've learned so much. I got asked the other day, how do I understand the properties of so many different paints and how they work and how they apply? And I said, really? It's just time. I absorb a lot. I forget a lot too. Don't think I'm some sort of genius. I have forgotten a lot. That's why I look things up too. And that's a big thing. If you don't know something, make an effort to find it out, because that's where your failures happen that are the worst. because you've done something that you're not sure if it's such a good idea. And if you took 5 minutes before you did it, you'd learn why it wasn't necessarily a great. All right, so we're gonna, I'm gonna see if I can do another coat of white on these. I don't usually like to force white paint like this, but I think what I'm actually going to do, a lot of things dry to the touch, but I think if I put another coat of paint on here, it'll be too soon. It'll become like pudding. So we're going to flip it like this so you can see how it will stand. And you get an idea now that there's that nice blue band in here. There is the nice white trim around this. And then what we're going to put in here, let's see, I'm afraid it's just still, because you saw it was still shiny. I really want to let this dry. I have pushed this too hard as it is today, and I know if I try to put another product on here and do a finish on it, I'm going to get a really unpleasant result. I don't want to just turn this into blue pudding. So you see how hard some of this is. It takes time to work this stuff out, and it's worth the effort. So this looks so much better than it did before already, than in the blue and white. What we're going to use, where did I put my products? I put them somewhere. Here they are. They're so out of my reach that they're way in front of me. We are going to use Faux Effects Wall Silk. Now this is traditionally a wall product, but it can be used on flat surfaces, or actually it can be used on almost any surface for furniture, as long as it is not going to be left as it is for a tabletop. On the sides of furniture, it will give you the feeling of silk. I'll show you how we do this. On something like this, it will be too soft, but I plan to put other things on it, and then we're going to do an epoxy pour over this to make it completely durable. And so I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this, but at the moment, I don't want to go too much further. I know this is kind of a short, dull live today, but some of them aren't all going to be the big, exciting, glamorous things. This is part of doing the right work on a piece of furniture. So I'm going to let this cure up for the night. I'm going to come back. I will do the rest of the legs and stuff tomorrow, and by tomorrow afternoon, we're going to do the wall silk. And then we're going to talk about what we're going to apply next. I think we're going to do a little stenciling on the exterior of this. After the wall silk is applied, it will not be liquidy and run, so we'll be able to turn this over and work on the outside of the tray. All right, everybody, I'm sorry that it's such a short one. It really is. We really did keep it brief. I mean, we've only been on 20 minutes, but there really isn't. Hey, Maddie and Gail. I don't want to stress this any more than I've had. I know I'm being a little worrisome, but literally it peeled off with tape yesterday. Just as I was getting ready to do a live, I pulled the tape and all the paint peeled off. So I don't want to force this beyond what I've done. I put a couple layers of paint on here. We reprimed it last night. You watched me put some white paint on the legs. The most I might do is take this back, flip it over, and work on the bottom of it again. But I really wanted you to be able to see what it looks like upright like this, where we were going. And yeah, I think I'm done for this for the night. It might be safer for me to walk away right now. All right, everyone, have a great night. I will see you back here tomorrow. Do not hesitate to post questions in the comments if you have any. Again, not a glamorous one, but not everything we do is glamorous. All right, have a, excuse me, I'm choking on my own spit. That's great. Let me see if you have any questions. Yeah, I think we're just going to leave it be. I'm going to take this. It's dry enough for me to do what I'm about to do, which is flip it back over. I'm going to lay it down just like this. We'll get the backs here, and then we're going to let this dry all night long. We're not going to play with it at all after this. All right, everyone. a good night. Thanks. Bye-bye.